Hello everyone, it's Vicky here today designing for Pink Fresh Studio, and I am using the beautiful Spring Vibes collection, which is brand new, and it's beautiful. I think that you'll love it and you'll see all the bits and pieces as I go along. I had an idea in my head when I started this layout that I'm going to do some circles. You'll see my pictures shortly, but I have my nieces peeking out from behind a tree, one each side. So what I wanted to do was print the photo twice and use these circles to tuck them in. So you'll see what I mean as it comes together. It's quite hard to explain, but I'm starting off by drawing a circle in each quarter of this page. And they're quite large circles, so they're going to take up most of the page here. But what I'm going to do is use my scalpel to cut them. And this little contraption I have here is it's kind of like a ruler, but it acts as a compass. And I can put a pencil in and draw a line. And then I can also fit my scalpel in there to just score it. It doesn't really cut very well, but it will score the paper. So it helps guide when I do then cut with my scalpel, because I want this to be in the middle of the page. I don't want to use my scissors. I want to keep it as neat as I can. And yeah, so I do 4. Excuse me. And so the top 2 and the bottom 2 are going to open out different directions. If that makes sense, you'll see what I'm saying when I get there. But be careful when you're using a scalpel. I'm not the safest person with one, but I managed not to get injured on this occasion. You could also use a circle cutter to do this, which might be a bit safer. Okay, so I'm just going to erase the lines that I drew before, and then we're ready to start with my idea, and you can see exactly what was in my head when I started this. So I'm going to fold back the circles. I'm just using that pencil to stop there being a specific fold line. I just want it to sort of bend over on itself. Okay, you can see what I'm going for here. And I'm thinking about a paper for the background, and I choose paper in a second, which I don't ultimately end up using, but just so you can see what I plan to do, put some colour underneath there. And I'm trying to decide how I'm going to configure these flaps that are coming over at the moment in my head. But in the meantime, grab my photos, and you can see what I mean. I've just printed them out 6x4, and it means that I can see part of the tree trunk and just the face sticking around each side. The photos are exactly the same photos, so I think that looks really cute. And then I decide on this paper with the hearts. Now, just a word of warning here. Despite me trying to think that I was going to do these up the right way, I didn't. And so I have sideways hearts and upside down hearts on my layout. So just be careful of that if you try to do something like this, because I mean, it's fine. Most of the hearts don't even show, so I'm not too concerned, but I just don't know how I managed to get it wrong. I wasn't paying enough attention, I guess. Anyway, so I'm going to stick my photos onto the back, and they'll go there. And I'm just going to get some sellotape and stick them down fully, because I just don't want them to come off. That's just regular sellotape I'm using there. Perhaps I should have used some acid-free, but I think it'll be fine on the back. Okay, so that's what I have. That's where I realised that the hearts were wrong, and I don't know. So my next idea is that I want to roll these back so it looks like they're opening onto the photo. And I like the idea of the rolling, but the white cardstock is quite thick. This is marshmallow cardstock, and it's quite thick, and it doesn't roll very well. It looks kind of creasy, if that makes sense. So I just measure my circle, and I decide instead to cut some of this paper that you can see under those 2 circles, and use this as my rolling paper for each side. So So yeah, just for the two photos, I'm going to use this yellow instead of the white. And the other two flaps are going to remain whole semicircles. But well, that's kind of a strange thing to say, whole semicircles. Anyway, they're going to remain semicircles, but it's just the photos I wanted to roll the paper for. So I'm rolling it around a metal straw here, and then I'm using double-sided tape, and I'm going to glue it onto the page ultimately with some hot glue, with my hot glue gun, because I just don't think I'll get this to stay on otherwise. So yeah, so I like how that looks. It's just like the circle's been rolled back for those photos. Okay, next up is the florals. Look at them. Beautiful, lovely. I love the yellow in this collection and the deep green. It just screams spring to me, and I really, really like it. So I'm just sort of playing with flower placements. My hot glue gun is now hot, so I'm just going to stick those little rolls down. They stick super easily when you've got a hot glue gun. And I'm happy with that. And then these two are just going to sit like that. So oh, here we go. One last effort to put the parts up the right way, but I can't get them off. And then I'm going to use the hot glue gun just to stick these two flaps down as well. Because they're not folded, there's some movement still in them. So I wanted to just use the glue gun to make sure that they stay. So I'm going back now to placing flowers, and this takes me quite a while to decide what I want to do where. So you'll just see me flicking through ideas and for placements, and there's so many florals in here. I could have put 10 times the amount on, but I did put quite a lot on because I love them. Here are the frames. I always love the chipboard frames from Pink Fresh Studio. I'll often make a layout that will feature them. So I've just got a couple on this one, and maybe a feature layout later. But I've got the green. I choose the two dark green frames. One says Dance Among the Flowers and the other one says Make Memories. So I thought they were really nice in there. And I cut that frame in half there. That's just a little yellow frame with the silver ring around the middle. There's a real subtle addition of silver in this collection, and it's really, really pretty, very modern. So I'm just going to cut out some of these little pieces from the paper there. They're really pretty. I'm not sure what we would call them, but they work really well with the green frames that I added on there and the florals that are included. So I'm just putting together all of the florals again back onto the page. Another little frame that was cut in half to put on there. I like all the circle elements. The frames are the only things that aren't really circular elements. Well, apart from the flowers, of course. Those two little wood veneer pieces I put as sort of, something that's holding down those circles. It sort of makes it look like they're hot pinning them to the page, which I thought was pretty cute. And then I'm putting all my flowers on and other bits and pieces. I think about using this little frame here. I don't use it, but I think about it. So I'm putting some powder on the back just so that I can move it around, but I don't use it in the end. I just think because most of the things on there are circular, it doesn't work. So adding in some more leaves and other bits and pieces. I'm going to be starting to stick soon, I would think. What else am I looking for? I'm starting to think about a title as well here, I would imagine. And I love the sentiments pieces, which are going to come up in a minute, and I'll choose my title from those. More florals, of course. Never have enough florals on a spring page, I feel. Here we go. So we've got the sentiments here, and I'm going to play around with those a little bit. Ultimately, I settle on two of them. One says life is an adventure, and the other says perfect day. So You'll see me pull those out in just a second. There's so many to choose from. It's difficult sometimes to choose which one works best. So this one, I just cut it up because I want to arrange it in slightly different way to how it is. So I want it on 3 lines as well because it's going onto the edge of that circle. I just thought it worked a little better in this way. There we go. And then I do perfect day at the top, and I do the exact same thing. Rather than have perfect day on 1 line, I cut it and put it onto 2 lines. Just trying to find it there. There we go. And I like how that looks. Okay, so we're getting near the end, and I'm going to start sticking things down here, and I'm going to skip through a whole load of that because it took me quite a while to stick everything. As you can see, there's lots of things on there. There we go, pretty much everything is stuck now, just putting on the last few pieces, the title there, which I raised onto foam, and just stick on the last couple of flowers, and I use them to cover up some hearts that are facing the wrong way. And that's it. I think the final layout's coming. There it is. I do hope this has given you some inspiration, and I hope that you love this new collection as much as I do. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, in the meantime, this has been Vicky for Pink Fresh Studio. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.